Every single choice we make is based on a belief. But have you ever wondered where your beliefs come from? If so, this video might be helpful for you, especially if you want to start making different choices. So, when we're younger, when we're born, between the ages of birth and about 8 to 13 years of age, people are teaching us things, right? They're teaching us how to walk, how to talk, roll over. They're teaching us traditions, usually our parents, our caregivers, or those people that we are around the most. But not only are they teaching us, they're teaching us based on how they were taught. So if you've ever heard the term that abused children grow up to be abusive parents, now you know why. Now, that will continue to happen over and over and over until someone learns to break the cycle. In other words, make different choices. Now, let's take a look at where our beliefs come from. As you know, people teach us things, but it's not just about what someone says to us. As children, it's also about what we intuit, meaning how we feel about certain situations. So if you're punished for a specific task that you chose, as something that you did as a child and you were punished, based on the way you were punished and based on what you were punished for, you created feelings around a belief that you have held on to and brought with you into adulthood. Now, those feelings and beliefs are still in charge of the choices that you make as your adult self. This is why it's really important to understand what you're feeling at all times. And then when you can recognize the feeling and get in touch with it, now you can ask yourself, okay, what is the belief around that feeling? And here's a good example. I always like to use myself as an example because it takes the emotion out of it for you, the listener, or the client that I'm working with. So when I was younger, there was very little money in our house, very little money. We were always really strapped, and there was barely any food in the cupboard. We were usually fed and clothed by the church. So you can imagine at Christmas time, there were 5 of us, my siblings and I, there were 5. And you hear these things like, Santa Claus is coming to town, be a good little girl, be a good little boy, and you'll get what you want. What do you want? Ask Santa, tell Santa what you want. And yet, year after year, we would be hopeful, we would be good, and the day would come and go, and there were no presents under the tree. So you can see that, number one, there's a trust issue, right? Because now you stop believing that people tell you Santa Claus is coming. It's like, well, not to my house. And then you stop believing in the people who tell you that. You start not trusting them. And you start feeling like there's something wrong with you. Like, what is the matter with me that Santa didn't come and visit me? Why is Santa bringing all of these presents to everyone but me? I know I was a good child. I know I was. And then you doubt yourself, right? You start saying, oh, I must be really bad. We must all be really bad. There must be something wrong with us. Now remember that this makes no logical sense as an adult because we are thinking these things and feeling these things with our child mind, with our child understanding of how the world works. So you can imagine when I got older and I started to do the inner work and I started understanding where my beliefs came from and the feelings and emotions that were attached to my beliefs, I definitely had some money issues that I wanted to work on because you can see the direct correlation, right? You were told, don't worry, just believe and it will happen. And then as I got older, I started to learn the law of attraction and I said, okay, I'm going to create these affirmations and I'm going to believe that it's going to be true. But it's one thing to say that, to say, okay, I believe that. This is what someone's teaching me. But when you've got that belief and that's attached to a feeling that is so strongly embedded in your DNA, it's very difficult to, in fact, impossible to say one thing and expect it to come true. because what you're feeling is completely the opposite of what your adult self is saying. This is why it's very, very important and helpful for you to know what you're feeling at all times, recognize the belief behind it, and now that you know where your beliefs come from, remember, you don't have to go back and say, oh, when I was 5, this happened. Oh, when I was 6, this happened. No, just sit with yourself and give yourself permission to feel into whatever it is you say you want. Ask yourself why you don't have it, and then ask yourself, what is the belief I have around that? That is the starting point to unfold and peel back the layers so that you can master your belief and you can let go of the feeling that's attached to that belief, and then you can start really receiving what it is that you say you want. If you have any questions on this and you want some more information, I invite you to visit masteringyourbeliefs.com. Look around, see what calls to you. There's a free download, there are free videos. Check it out, see what calls to you. But most important, if you're watching this video, remember, nothing happens by accident or chance in the universe. We're always brought information when we need it most. I like to say, when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. So visit masteringyourbeliefs.com, look around, and remember, if you have any questions, ask your sensei. In the meantime, this is Nancy Muller, the one and only Life Sensei, saying ciao for now.